Brilliance Audio presents Bombtrack by Sam Sisavath, performed by Lauren Ezzo. The brap 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 of machine gun fire froze her in place. 1 second. Jesus. 2 seconds. Christ. 3 seconds. Move, you idiot, move, move, move! She did. Finally. Her joints unlocked and her legs turned, followed by her hips and shoulders, spinning from left to right even as her hand instinctively stabbed down to the Sig Sauer pistol holstered along her right hip. 4! Someone screamed just before glass shattered, but the sound was barely audible over the continuous brap brap brap. A machine gun. Jesus, that's a machine gun. Gaby! Gaby! Someone screamed, a split second after the radio on the other side of her hip squawked. A male voice. Berryman. A brief flash of memory from a minute ago. A conversation between Jeff and Kylie through the same two-way. You hear that? Jeff had said. Hear what? Kylie had answered. Car engines. I don't hear anything. Listen closer. I am. Then, a few seconds later, you're right, I hear it now. Who are they? Hell if I know, Jeff had said. Not like I live here. Here was Colesport, Texas, a small town near the southern coastline where Gaby and 4 others had arrived only an hour ago. It was supposed to be an easy assignment. Get to know the locals and find out what they knew, if anything. But it hadn't turned out that way. The pop-pop-pop of automatic rifles snapped her back to the present, and Gaby's mind shouted, Stop thinking and act! You were trained better than this! The P-226 was in her hand when she broke off into a run, the interior of what passed for the town's city hall blurring by at the corners of her eyes, and practically lunging through the door being held open by the burly man whose name Gaby had forgotten, even though he had introduced himself less than 40 minutes. Brap, brap, brap. Someone was shouting behind her, but the only sounds she could focus on was the hellacious gunfire outside the building. That, and her own heartbeat pounding away, threatening to explode out of her chest like one of those creatures from the sci-fi movies that Danny liked so much. It had been such a long time since she'd felt it. The burst of excitement and fear and runaway adrenaline making every inch of her tingle. She slid to a stop when she saw it. A bright red Chevy truck parked in the middle of the cobblestone circle that made up the center of Colesport, with every building in town seemingly wrapped around the centralized location like an ever-widening maze of brick and mortar and wood. Gaby glimpsed the turning head of the driver through the bullet-scarred front windshield from 50 or so meters away. About the same time, the man spotted her and punched the ceiling of his vehicle in reaction. That alerted the second man standing in the truck bed, manning an M249 machine gun sitting on a tripod welded on top of the cab. Oh, fuck me. The machine gunner was wearing some kind of black assault vest, his face partially hidden behind a balaclava. And he was swiveling the MG in her direction when Gaby twisted at the hips and dove just as the first hail of 5.56 rounds eviscerated the windows behind her. Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me! Someone screamed. No, not someone. Someone's. But the pained voices were mostly lost in the brop 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 of the M249 as it chewed through everything in its path. Wood, brick, and mortar. Glass, and flesh. Gaby slammed chest first into the hard sidewalk and grunted, but there was no time for anything else because her mind was shouting, Get up or you're going to die.